Apollo 10, The Mystery of the Lost Module Snoopy asterisk. In May 1969, three astronauts were launched into space to carry out one of the greatest missions in human history. Apollo 10, the mission that came closest to the moon but never landed, but during this mission something happened. NASA left one of the modules in space, and since that day no one has found it. So where is Apollo 10's lost module Snoopy now? Has it disappeared? Is it still drifting in space? Has it collided with an unknown object, or is it silently orbiting our solar system, waiting to be discovered? We are here to uncover this great mystery, to explore the possibilities, and to delve into the untold story of this lost piece of space history. Apollo 10 was one of NASA's most critical tests before turning the dream of landing humans on the moon into reality. Before Neil Armstrong and his team set foot on the lunar surface, everything had to be tested to perfection. But there was one rule for this mission. Touching the moon was strictly forbidden. The astronauts were so close, yet they could not complete the final step. The fate of future lunar missions depended on them getting everything just right. The mission had three astronauts, Thomas Stafford, John Young, and Eugene Cernan. They were among the best and most experienced astronauts of their time. They had been through intense training, simulating every possible scenario they might encounter. They used two spacecraft, the command module named Charlie Brown and the lunar module called Snoopy. Their task was simple: rehearse landing on the moon and test everything except the actual touchdown. Every maneuver, every procedure had to be executed flawlessly so that the upcoming Apollo 11 mission could land safely. But this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Apollo 10 approached the moon's surface to just 15 kilometers, closer than any human had ever gone before. At that altitude, the lunar surface was visible in breathtaking detail. The craters, the ridges, the dust-covered plains, this was the closest anyone had ever come to another celestial body. But at that moment, something went wrong. The astronauts suddenly experienced an uncontrolled jolt. Snoopy began to tumble while orbiting the moon, and for a brief moment the crew lost control. Astronaut Eugene Cernan's words at that moment became legendary. "We're here, we're tumbling, oh my God, get us out of this." It was one of the most panic-filled moments ever heard on a NASA mission. The module was spinning, the instruments were going wild, and for a few terrifying seconds the crew feared they might crash into the moon. But these were skilled astronauts trained to handle the worst situations. They quickly regained control, preventing a disaster and stabilizing their course. But the experience left them shaken. It was a reminder that space was unforgiving, and even the slightest miscalculation could lead to catastrophe. Once the mission was complete, the astronauts prepared for their return, but Snoopy was not coming back to Earth. Unlike the Apollo 11 lunar module, which was left on the moon, Snoopy was sent off into deep space. The lower section of the module crashed into the moon, but the upper part, the section where the astronauts had been, was discarded into the vastness of space, never to be seen again. After Apollo 10, NASA lost track of the module. There was no system in place to follow it. In those early days of space exploration, tracking abandoned spacecraft was not a priority. And so, Snoopy became one of the greatest mysteries in space exploration, drifting endlessly through the void. Did it escape Earth's gravity entirely? Is it still orbiting the sun like a ghost of a past mission, hidden among the countless asteroids and space debris? Or has it been shattered into pieces, colliding with some unknown cosmic object? For decades, astronomers have tried to track down Snoopy. If it were still out there, it would be orbiting the sun somewhere in our solar system, moving silently through the darkness. It might have drifted beyond Mars, or perhaps it has even ventured toward the outer reaches of our cosmic neighborhood. Scientists have long speculated about its fate. Could it have been captured by the gravitational pull of another planet? Could it still be intact, waiting to be rediscovered? In 2018, a team of scientists detected a strange object in space. Its orbit size and speed closely matched that of the Apollo 10 module, so could Snoopy have finally been found? The object was observed, analyzed, and debated, but without physical examination no one could say for sure. Imagine if we could send a spacecraft to intercept it. What secrets could it reveal? A time capsule from 1969, untouched, floating in the vastness of space. A piece of human history, lost in the infinite cosmos. For now, we have no definitive proof, but one day humanity may rediscover this lost module and bring it back to Earth. And when that happens, the final chapter of Apollo 10 will finally be complete. A relic of the space age, a missing piece of a grand puzzle, a silent witness to humanity's greatest adventure, returned home after decades in exile. So what do you think? Is Snoopy still floating in space, or has it been lost forever? If it were ever found, should we bring it back to Earth? What secrets might it hold after all these years drifting alone in the void? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Who knows, maybe one day we will be watching the news as astronauts recover Snoopy from deep space, unlocking a forgotten chapter of our cosmic journey.